Hey everybody, and welcome to Early Access Podcast, episode 99. Sorry about that. Let me pause that real quick. Got a playlist going. Welcome to episode 99. I'm your host, Angelo, and thank you for coming back. I hope everybody had a good week. As you can tell, this is the first episode where I'm going to start doing them weekly. It's just a little bit easier on me. It gives me more time to relax and not stay up one night during the week. It's just exhausting. So it's easier just to compile everything to the end of the week and, take a couple hours on a Sunday to get everything situated and ready to talk about. So the biggest thing on my list is the most recent Division Open beta. This past weekend is ending today as I'm recording this. It's ending right now. And if you didn't get a chance to go and check it out, yeah, it's unfortunate. Go check out some footage. I did just put up a little fun video that I made yesterday when I was playing with a couple different people. It's a really interesting game. I'm excited to see where they take it, especially with the lack of content that's there right now. Hopefully it doesn't fall prey to the Destiny problem, which was just not enough content. It seems like they're holding a lot back, though, considering we only have access to 4 of 15 character skills, and then there's also the entire talent tree, perk tree that we haven't had access to. We've only seen 4 different high-end items throughout the past 2 betas, so I'm sure there's plenty of new loot that we're going to see besides those 4 items. Plus, they're also only low-level high-end weapons, so I'm sure there's just going to be better versions of that stuff out there. And we also haven't seen any of the crafting stuff, so we don't know what that's all about. We've only seen 2 story missions so far, and it seems like out of the 3 wings in your base, it's going to have approximately 10 per wing. It looks like it's just a rough estimation, considering there's going to be at least 1 to open up each wing, and then it looks like it's the bar moves in 10% increments. But again, it doesn't. I can't really tell how quickly you can gather the resources to unlock the different parts of each wing, because there's only so much content that you can go through while you're playing it. But it's a great game. I think it's going to be tough for people that want to play this game by themselves. It's not a game that really lends itself to single player, just to a single player experience. I'm sure everything outside of the Dark Zone will be fine for a single player experience. Especially if you utilize the matchmaking system for some of the missions and stuff like that. But the PvP stuff, the Dark Zone, it's hit or miss of whether or not you can even go in it alone. I've had some good luck with it and some bad luck. I mean, if you're a friendly person, sometimes you can meet up with people and, have a good time. Just take it with a grain of salt when people become assholes and turn on you and kill you for no reason, because it's going to happen. I get frustrated just like everybody else when you're trying to be nice, you help somebody or you do something, and then they just, pack mentality, the entire group turns on you and kills you because it's them and their friends, and you're the odd man out. So playing by yourself in that situation is going to be difficult. So just remember that when you go, when the game comes out, which is in a couple weeks here on March 8th. But yeah, keep an eye on it. It's really exciting looking. The best, some of the best moments I've had in a video game so far this year, which is different to say for a game like this, like in the state that it's in. For instance, the other night, the first night of the open beta, it was me and a couple of my friends. We were playing in the Dark Zone. We met up with another group of 4 people. We all got into Xbox chat. We started a party on Xbox so we could communicate better. And then there was also a random guy in there. But so the 9 of us basically just took over the entire PvP area, the whole server. It was just the 9 of us. We went manhunt 3 times in a row, and just basically wreaked havoc. It was a lot of fun. It was exciting. It was tense. It was funny. We were just miscommunication, some misfiring, trying to shoot between parties and stuff like that, trying to memorize everybody's names so you weren't killing people that are on your team. We got split up a bunch. That's why we ended up making the party on Xbox, just because the proximity chat with another group doesn't really make for a good communication thing. I don't think it's a thing that Ubisoft expected to happen, considering the size of the Dark Zone servers, the instances. I think they upped it to 30 people. So I could see how it's problematic, and it is problematic when two 4-player groups get together, and basically you're talking about almost a third of the population is now an organized group, whether that's for good or bad. It definitely throws the balance of the game off. I think in the 4-player groups, it does make sense, but when you start getting people communicating outside of those 4-player groups, it becomes problematic. Like, we were unstoppable. We didn't run into a problem until people started getting off, and then we were a smaller group. But when we were 10 strong, like, it's very hard for the rest of the server to organize in a way to effectively fight back against 10 people. And there's really nothing they can do about it. That's the thing. So I think the thing is, it's going to happen infrequently, because eventually what had happened was people left because they forced, they kicked us out of the server, basically. So our group went to a different instance, and we lost everybody. So you can't, it's not like we could get together with 8 people and communicate that way and all end up in the same server, because it's not going to work that way. We'd have to get lucky to get into the same instance and then run into each other. So it doesn't really work that way, which is good. But when it happens, it makes for an interesting time. We played for like 2 hours like that before it finally forced us to merge out. And it was an incredible experience. I'm having a great time, and all of my friends are on board with this game, and I am too. I think it's going to be one of the games to watch, especially with how long it's been in development, how little we actually know about the game, which is, kind of nerve-wracking, because you don't know if you're going to jump in there and put a lot of time into it and find out that, like, the content's just not there, like with Destiny was. But it's pretty awesome. So I would definitely recommend checking out videos. Again, make sure you check out some gameplay of it if you didn't get your hands on it this weekend, or in the closed beta. But it's going to be probably my go-to game for a little while, just because I love the open world, not the open world stuff, but like that PvP feel, the survival feel of that area of the game. So before I get on to the other big news topic, I pulled a couple early access games that I thought looked interesting. This first one's called Herolike, kind of like roguelike, and it's $7.99, but it's 25% off for a few more days here for $6. 7 reviews, 85% positive, and it's this weird blend of hack and slash, like dungeon crawling, and a roguelike, and some base building. It's a group of things that you don't normally see. It reminds me of something else, and I can't put my finger on it. But it's a top-down 3D hack and slash game, dungeon crawler. But it is a RPG roguelike, so you're gonna be doing a lot of the same stuff over and over again. So it really depends on if the systems that this game has designed are strong enough to keep you the replayability needs to be there. The biggest problem with roguelikes is sometimes you just get the ones where, on the surface they look great, they play great, but then you have to do that repetition over and over again, and it's really about how they make it, whether or not it's worth it. I mean, you look at a game like Spelunky, where the roguelike aspect is about you getting better and better and better at the game, not necessarily earning upgrades and stuff like that. It's all about learning the maps and figuring out the correct paths and how to engage all the enemies, and the tricks and secrets of that game are what really make that an enjoyable experience. So you get games like this where there's like all these bells and whistles and different systems and this and that, and sometimes it loses some of what makes a roguelike, and it's that desire to just be like one more run. Sometimes they make it so it's like, you know, either just insanely too hard or there's just too much to micromanage, and you know you don't want to deal with all that shit. Like, you just want to be able to be like, I want to try to brute force my way through it, and eventually it all clicks, and then the runs get longer and longer and longer. But it does look interesting, so it really depends on how those systems all line up. I'm going to reach out to these guys, and actually this is published by Black Shell Media, who I've actually reviewed some of their games before, like Overture, and there was another game. They have 3 pages. I'm not looking through all that right now. But they tend to back decent games, so go check that out here. Like, links in the show notes for that. Other game I grabbed is called the Solus Project. Now, I feel like I talked about this before because I think it popped up on, like, it just popped up for sale, and it actually wasn't for sale at the time. So this is let me rewind the video real quick. So this is an Unreal Engine first-person 3D game. It's a single-player exploration adventure game with survival elements, like most games are now. It says it's a spiritual successor to The Ball, which was the 2010 PC Gamer Action Adventure Game of the Year. 99 reviews, 89% positive. So seems like 1 out of 10 people like it. 9 out of 10 people like it. It's $15, 10% off for $13.50 until February 25th, so a few more days. The videos on here look amazing. The game looks great. The Unreal Engine has done a lot for independent developers. It allows everybody to make better games. Oh wait, actually this is also available on, let me see, just popped up at the end here. Looks like it's also available on Xbox. There we go. Yeah, apparently it just came out on Steam the 18th. This is part 1, early access part 1, and I guess it's going to be available in the Xbox early, like the preview, preview program, the 26th. So in a few more days it'll be available there as well. Like, it looks really cool. The graphics are great. The reviews I've read are positive. So if you're looking for a sci-fi first-person exploration game, you know, survival exploration games are super popular right now. Go check it out, especially on the console. You know, a lot of these games end up just on the PC, and they don't end up on the consoles too often. Because personally, I'd like to just see how they translate that gameplay style to the console. That's like my biggest thing with these. Alright, so the last thing is, I think I spoke about this in the last episode, but it actually happened, and it was the H1Z1 Split. So to give you a rundown of what exactly happened was, about a week ago or so, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago now, Daybreak Games, which is formerly Sony Online Entertainment, they decided to take H1Z1 and split it into 2 separate games. So they split it to King of the Hill and Just Survive. So they took the King of the Hill mode, which was the arena PvP portion of the game, and the online survival portion of the game, and separate them into their own games. So there are 2 separate games now, which is fucking shitty. So they're both $20. There is a bunch of microtransaction bullshit, but that doesn't affect the game. It's all cosmetic stuff. It's nothing really that important. The biggest thing is, though, that they decided to split a game into 2 $20 individual titles, and from what I understand now, I've been rereading a lot of the reviews, especially since the split the other day, and it seems like it just ruined the servers. The stability of both projects now they're unstable. The servers are bad. People talking about game crashes. You know, just there's been a lot of problems between the two titles, which is which sucks because they were working, and I don't know why they decided to do this. Like, it just seems like it seems like a blatant money grab in my opinion. Like I usually try not to point that shit out and be like, oh, they're out for a money grab, but that's exactly what this sounds like. Because up until the other day, you were able to just buy H1Z1 as a whole for I think it was $30, $20, I think it was for both up until the other day, and it's just they kind of just I don't know they just shit on their customer. I don't know if maybe this is more for the fact that it's supposed to come to consoles at some point, so maybe they wanted to split it to get it ready so they can have a team developing the Just Survive portion, which is the part that I think is going to end up on consoles. I don't know what their reasoning is behind it. I haven't really been able to find anything. They have said that they want to, I guess, work on them independently with more people. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they would do it. However, if you did have access to the early access before the split, you did get them both for free, and they doubled all your items, so they worked independently. So you didn't lose anything basically if you had it before. But now it's just one of those things where it's like you took a $20 game and made it a $40 game, and also made it so a lot of the content doesn't work. I don't know. I just feel like it's disappointing for everybody. I would like to see them rectify the situation. A lot of people are upset. You just read through the comments, and it's a lot of disappointed people, which is unfortunate. I really like the game. I put a lot of time into H1Z1. It was one of those games that just grabbed me for a while, and I played the shit out of it. So, yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but they, ever since the Sony Online Entertainment portion left and became Daybreak Games, from day one they tried to say that nothing was going to change and blah 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 blah. And right from the get-go, I talked about it when it happened. Stuff was starting to change. There was problems with the game, and nothing was getting done. They went weeks without updates, and now this bombshell. I don't know what this company's doing, considering they really just don't have any other products. Payday and Landmark, which is fucking at this rate is never going to come out. DC Universe, which again is another dead product. People still play it, but it's a dead product. So this was really the next step for them, and they're disappointing a lot of fans as a new publisher, and developer. So keep an eye on that if you're interested. I just can't recommend spending $40 for both. So I would recommend the survival portion of it. It's just a better game. The King of the Hill stuff was cool though, so it's the thing. It's kind of it's disappointing because sometimes you just want to unwind and do the short arena style version of this game as opposed to the longer hardcore version of building a base and everything, and having the ability to do both was a big part of the package, and now that they're both individual, it kind of ruins it, in my opinion. But that's their problem, not mine. They can figure that out. I'm sure they will. But that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. It's right about where I thought it would be. They'll be longer, they'll be shorter. But if you have any questions, comments, whatever you want to talk about, email me at earlyaccesspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at earlyaccesspc. Click through the Amazon banner on earlyaccessmedia.com all the way at the bottom while it's still there. Should be up for a couple more months, but no new content's going up. It's just there so I can archive all the old stuff, save all the images, whatnot, and start getting ready to migrate all that stuff to a single website. There's no need for two. I don't know why I did that. It was stupid of me. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Have a great week. And I'll see you next Sunday/Monday for episode 100. Who knew? 100 episodes later, we'd still be here. But we are. But until next time, guys, this is Angelo with Early Access Podcast. And don't forget, be awesome. See you next week.